Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mission Inspired, a CPG chat. I'm your host, Rusty Jones, co founder of Hello Water. Today's guest is Adam Kukoff. He's the co founder of NUTSÓLA. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rusty.
My
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
man. NUTSÓLA. I love the new spin. Like, as you said in some of your other interviews, if you're just like us, I'm another water brand. Oh, another granola company. But that's not what this is. Tell the world what NUTSÓLA is, please.
Yeah, so just to give you a little backstory, that's all it originated in my house. My dad was making this product for years prior to us going into business. The whole concept was to create a product with clean ingredients without added sugar. So we sweeten everything with fruit. And, uh, the whole plan was not solar. It sounded like granola, but we were using nuts and our product's grain free. So our first product was this granola like mix where we're mixing in nuts, fruit, seeds, spices. And when we launched on Kickstarter, the whole concept was making your own energy bars from these mixes. So it was this really innovative product where you could just add water to the mix and then you can bake your own bars at home. And we had a successful Kickstarter, and then we started doing farmers markets and events, and people started using it more like granola. This is what we learned. So we didn't initially like say to ourselves, "Oh, we're going to be a granola company." It was more like we have this innovative product, and my family, I would say, has a history of innovation, like within their a different business. So that was our thing to just be different from what's out there. Um, and we launched this uh, basically like a grain-free superfood mix, and people loved it on their yogurt, oatmeal. It's a great topping because every product on the granola shelf has added sugar, and we're sweetening with dates, so it's a big difference. And Hello Water, it's the fiber component. That's the same thing when you're eating fruit. Uh, Dates are sweet in the sugar, but the fiber allows it to process in your body naturally over time instead of spiking blood sugar. So it makes a huge difference to consumers. And since then, we've been evolving from the mixes to superfood bites, and we have an innovative date glaze cashew product. And then other lines we're launching in the future, but it's all being innovative. We want to be different than others.
Yeah, the cashew product sounds amazing. I have to try some of that out. I'm a big cashew
Yeah,
fan. As you know, I, I think we're 10 or so episodes into Mission Inspired, but it really is the same question I keep throwing out there is, what not only what inspired you, but you know, you did something a little non-traditional as well as like the Kickstarter campaign. Not everybody has that experience, and those who look into it maybe get a little bit intimidated by the process or getting started or having to complete the goal. Can you share a little bit about not only what inspired you and Dad to start this, and then how Kickstarter kind of helped kickstart
yeah.
that solo.
Well, I would say it inspired us. My dad was just so passionate about avoiding added sugars. So for a long time in the house, he was talking like sugar's poison. He's obviously being sarcastic, but like,
Not
it's
really.
just like it's it's just something that was just instilled in us. And I always read ingredient labels, even before being in the food business. I was always so conscious about like what are these companies putting in these products, and I thought it was always sneaky because reading ingredient labels, it's just they say one thing on the front and it's polar opposite on the back. So we really wanted to be this transparent company that just laid everything out there. Ingredients are really clean. You could always trust us for that. And you're going to feel better because you're not being deceived by big brands just trying to cheapen the cost of products. So the Kickstarter, my dad had some experience prior in another industry, and it was just he was passionate about it. I think Kickstarter is so great for anyone just wanting to launch a product that's maybe not complete or you don't have something ready, packaging or production, but it gives you a chance to really jumpstart your business. You get friends and family involved, and everyone wants you to succeed. So even if your product's not perfect, it was a great opportunity for us to just throw something out there and you know get feedback for one, build like your early consumer base. And I wish I would have done it maybe slightly different because when we launched the product, it's totally different from what it is today. when we launched on Kickstarter, it was all about making the bar
Hmm.
from these mixes, and we're totally different now. So a lot of those consumers that we initially educated on, it's been such a different way that we go about, educating our consumers today. So it kind of hurt the momentum, I would say, in that end. But I think it's so great. It's very low cost to get started, and you could build, a great community of people that back your brand. So
That's great. So when you so you completed the Kickstarter, had a little seed funding, and then produced to go to farmers markets. And then was it from the farmers market, or was when did you realize, oh, this isn't a make your own healthy bar? This is more of a granola esque type of
yeah,
product. What was
the
that
whole
aha moment?
yeah, the whole first year it was. My idea was just sampling at farmers markets events, just letting people try the product. And this was before the pandemic, so obviously everything
Yeah.
changed once the pandemic hit. You couldn't sample, but it was in 2019. I was just going to farmers markets in New Jersey, New York, and also in Miami during the wintertime. So I could go there and sample pretty much all year round. And the aha moment. I would say it wasn't one particular moment. It was a gradual just understanding of consumers and how they're enjoying our product. Because just seeing the emotion of someone trying it, sampling it, gave me a lot of confidence over and over again. So it's very repetitive once you hear the positive feedback continuously, from how many people try your product in one day. So I think it was a lot of learning from that, and just changing, adjusting the packaging, and you know it just gave us a lot of confidence moving forward in the business. Not saying that was going to be our product from forever. It was just something that gave us a lot of confidence that we know if people try it, they're going to enjoy it.
That's great. What's so from the farmers market, did you go to retail, or did you focus on direct to consumer? And then how is that mix kind of evolved or balanced for you in your current
Yeah.
distribution?
I mean, we were totally inexperienced with e-commerce when we first started. Like we wanted a subscription model completely. It wasn't like we have subscription, but it just didn't work out the way we intended. Where it was like you buy the bar kit, you buy the mixes, and then you can make your own bars. We it took a while to figure out how to transform our website in a website that will convert consumers, for one. But we started, our first retailer was Erewhon Market in California. This was in February of 2020, first time we got into retail. I was sampling. I went out there. I sampled for a whole month. We did really well for that first month, and I was there all day. Just like they couldn't like kick me out. Like I wanted as
Right.
many consumers to try. We did so well the first 3 weeks I was there. I left. Then the next week was the pandemic. Literally, like
Sorry, I'm not
I,
laughing at you. Just it's just crazy. It's the story. Like, yeah, we were crushing it, and then the pandemic hit.
yeah, I mean, I think that like packaging could be improved, the price point could have been improved, but it was like impossible to keep that momentum because consumers
Hmm.
are, everyone's such an amazing store, but it's also expensive store for groceries and things like that. So, you know, um, I don't
No,
know how it changed when the pandemic came because not as many consumers were going in. I feel like a lot
hmm
of it went online, so discovering new brands was really tough. And we're just small brands, so people sample us. I don't know if they're going to go and buy it online, right from there. You know, so that the whole pandemic like just really shifted our focus. We really had to refine some things on packaging, price point, and come up with new product lines that we think will do better. So
yeah,
that's when we really wanted to get into snacks.
nice. What's working today? You have multiple product portfolio options. What seems to be leading the way? Is it still that original product, or do you see a nice balance of innovation along with just some of the evolvement that you've made from packaging to
Yeah,
messaging and things?
the mixes are, it's an amazing product, but it is the most difficult to educate consumers on it because it is so
Hmm.
different. The lines that are leading now are snacks, like our bites, which we've actually gone through a transformation in how we produce them. We were using one machine that produce the bites that were a little bit inconsistent. And we had this delicious product, but it was just very difficult to make the consistent same bite like every great product is. You want that same exact bite, same taste. Consumers want that. And if you have one bad experience, like, consumers might not buy again. So we've perfected that, and we've pretty much relaunched that into the market through our distribution channel and e-commerce. Actually, this week, where it's kind of like a relaunch of the bites, and
Nice.
then the date glazed cashews, which is a really innovative take in the candy nut category. It's a delicious product. I mean, it's addictive. You can eat the whole bag one sitting easy. And we're using dates to sweeten. We're not using any added sugar like pretty much every candy nut is. So, no one makes that product, and I have to give big thanks to my dad, who, he does all the manufacturing. So, like, it's his skill set. He worked in the garment center for years. He had his own manufacturing facility. So machinery and, being innovative is just you know, in his blood. So I'm very fortunate to have him. We work well together because I'm more marketing sales, and he handles, the back end stuff, which is
Yeah, that's
really
a great balance for sure. I mean, it's that part for me. And again, I'll give props to Tom, who basically the same thing, takes care of ops and finance, and I'll take care of sales and marketing. And then we just cross paths in the middle as we grow. But the manufacturing side, I mean, there's just so many things that I can imagine go through with your product that probably are the same in the beverage world. But
right.
at the end of the day, like, you just want to make sure you get it right because the customer needs the quality product. Again, we
Absolutely.
both started it for that mission. um, you got to have something better. And for us, we saw the same thing. It was like sugar's public enemy number one. I've got two kids. Tom has a bunch of nephews and nieces, and just like, there's got to be this next generation of something.
Right.
Like what we're seeing on the shelves
Exactly.
today is just not. It's not what we
And
need. So
I think, like us, like, obviously we don't have like all the funding in the world, but things take time, and consumers are evolving into being more health conscious. And it doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's gradually
yeah,
happening where people are caring more about fiber intake, getting away from the added sugars and reading ingredient labels. So I understand it's a process, and it might take longer than what you expected to when you first started, but yeah, I'm really happy where things are going. You must be too, because you see it with consumers, you know?
yeah. I mean, it takes such a long time to really garner that community, and then just when we first started, one of the biggest brands that was kind of winning at the time was Quest Bar and Tom
Right.
Bailu. And what we took from him was find those first 100 advocates, and then have them turn into 1,000, into 10,000, because you and your dad are two people, and Tom and I are two people. Like, we can only do so much. We've got to find like-minded, passionate people that not only love what we're doing and share the same mission, and then they're the ones that are going to spread the word. And
Yeah.
then the rest is just building a foundation and making sure you're ready to scale. So that's kind of where we're at, and I hope you guys are there too.
Yeah. I mean, the scale part, I think when you're making like an innovative product like ours, that's the most difficult thing, because you can make things in small batches and, like, okay, like,
Hmm.
it might come out great, but how do you scale it? How do you get the cost down to make it, attractive for distribution and consumers? Where if you do any type of spend, that you can take that and, be profitable. You're not just burning
Absolutely.
money, basically. you know
What are some of the things that, obviously we've made a bunch of mistakes started doing
yeah,
this, but
of
what are
course.
some of the things that, you know, it was a mistake at the time, but it actually turned out to be, that that led us to this, that has actually been a better attribute for
uh
us, or
I have to go
positioning.
back to the mixes on this, because when we first launched this super innovative product, like a DIY energy bar mix, that was our
Hmm.
product. We had our own custom dehydrator. We had a bar kit, so
Nice.
you could make the bars, where it had like a mold, and then it had like two plates, so you could like kind of form them into like a square, perfect bar.
Yeah.
So you could bake it, and that's what made us like a really innovative company. Because if I just came out with the bites to start, there wouldn't. To me, it's like it wouldn't be you wouldn't be as innovative. Like, companies do have bites. Like, I think ours are better tasting, different texture, but the mixes is really what people came to us initially and say, "Wow, I've never seen this before. Like, this is really cool. Oh, you can make your own bars. This is so much better when you make them fresh at home. It's like making cookies instead of you know just having
Right.
like a stale bar that's been sitting on the shelf for 2 years and you don't realize it's expired." So
I like that.
that's what I have to give credit to, but it was positive and negative, you know.
Yeah, again, it's all about what the consumer wants out of your product. You could think you're building one thing and they see it as something different. And we were kind of the same. We thought when we launched, we're like, oh, we're going to be the word fiber kind of scared us. Gut health is just trending.
Right,
Prebiotic wasn't really a word that CPG was using yet. So we were kind of trying to tiptoe into fiber. We knew it was
right,
necessary. There was a white space and it was just stuck in the pharmacy aisle. So we came out with Essence water and we thought, oh, we've got it. And then we put it out and people were like, what is this? We're like, well, let's just call it fiber infused. And then the moment we did that, Amazon saw like a 200% increase. They're like, okay, just call it what it is. Stop trying to tiptoe in and then just let the consumers decide. So
right.
that's a lesson we learned as well. But nice. Uh, again, I hope that some young entrepreneurs are out there, not young, but just entrepreneurs in general, are watching this. What are some of the things that you could tell them to inspire them to just start or keep going, or you know yes, this is hard. Here's two guys that are doing it. It is a roller coaster of emotions and success and failures. But what are some of those things that kind of stick with you that keep you motivated and inspired to keep going?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing, any aspiring entrepreneurs should be thinking about is if they can solve a problem, if they can make someone's life easier or better. I think if you can do that, I think you have potential business, and a lot of it is just getting feedback from customers like us. It's farmers markets. Like, that's the easiest way. If you're in the food business, just go to your local farmers market and you don't need any real marketing material. Just go sample the product. Like, just see if people are enjoying it. And from there, you could just build your customer base, just like you said about Quest Bar. Like, just keep getting those really loyal customers to help spread the word. And you'd be amazed if you just put that little time in. Something could really happen because it's happened with so many different entrepreneurs in CPG. Like, when I listened to How I Built This,
Yeah.
a lot, and when I hear it, like, I hear so many similarities with how we started versus in comparison to all those successful people on the show, and it just gives me the chill sometimes because you realize, oh wow, like, this is so hard, but they did it, and it sounds somewhat similar. So
Right.
you know,
Survive to
um,
thrive, right?
yeah, and
Nice.
I think yeah,
Where can consumers find you today?
consumers can find us on our website, nutsola.com. And we're in stores mostly through the Northeast and South Florida. We have a store locator on our website.
Okay.
Um, we're in mostly small chains, independents. We've been in Walmart in 3 different states, so it's kind of spread out throughout the country: in
Yeah.
California, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Um, but we really just launched our snacks into distribution, so we should be getting it out to way more um, independents and chains in the near future. Hopefully, if all things go well.
That's great.
you know.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, again, I can't thank you enough to jumping on here, telling your story. NUTSÓLA sounds delicious. Like I said, huge cashew fan, so I'm definitely going to pick up some of those. Where can listeners reach out to you if they've got any questions, or just want to pick your brain, or see how they
Yeah.
maybe can
Well,
help you with what you got going on?
I would love for anyone to reach out. You can reach out directly on our Instagram, which is Nutsola Official. Someone took our Nutsola name before we started, and also LinkedIn, Adam Kukoff. Just feel free to send me a message or DM. You know, it'd be great to hear from anyone that wants to reach out.
Absolutely. That's what I love about this community. Just everybody's willing to help. We just all have one, real big mission, and that's just to inspire health. So, congrats what you and Dad are doing. Keep going. Can't wait to see you on shelves everywhere. And then
You
anything
too.
that we can do to help along the way, we're here. We know it takes a village, so
It does.
give us a shout. But I appreciate it. This
Yeah.
has been a CPG chat, mission inspired. Again, I'm your host, Rusty Jones. This is the amazing Adam Kukoff. Go check him out at nutsola.com. Enjoy the day. Thanks, everyone.